Hi friends, welcome back to my channel, Kara Soul and for Intuitive Wellness. And if you're new, my name is Caroline. Welcome. I am an intuitive and an ascension guide, and I'm here to help you and support you on your spiritual journey and expansion. So I've gotten a handful of very, very strong messages from my guidance system over the last couple months that I feel will be very helpful for everybody, for individuals and the collective as we move through this next phase of our collective global consciousness expansion, which is kind of what we're seeing happening right now. So the first message is you may have to give up your vices to honor your values. You may have to give up your vices to honor your values. And so what does that mean? So for me personally, the way this manifested into the 3D world was when a very large social media platform updated its terms and services. As soon as I read through them and understand the implications of these, I already have always been uncomfortable on social media. I truly don't enjoy it. The YouTube channel is now my only social media, and I feel so happy and liberated by it. But as soon as I saw the terms and services, in my body was immediately like, nope, I don't agree to this. And so I chose to give up the vice of social media to honor my value of being true to myself and respecting what I deem is proper privacy, what I deem is dealing with companies that have the same values that I have, honoring what I believe is true and what I want to see into the world, instead of just settling by keeping my vices and the convenience and all of the excuses that we make why we keep doing the things that we know are not in alignment with our soul and who we are as people. So this will manifest, and this is going to continue to manifest because we have been conditioned as a populace to give up our values for vices. And so this is manifested in so many things. And I'm going to offer something, and there's parts of me that I don't want to say this because I feel it will be interpreted through a lens. And if you have any prejudices or feelings that come up when I say this, know that that is your stuff, because my intention with saying this is 100% to offer clarity and to bring you back to yourself, to who you are, and to help remove the conditioning and the programming that has been placed upon you and your generation and your lineages over hundreds, if not thousands of years. So the first thing, one of the vices that we have is materialism. And so materialism is a vice 100%, because you don't need all the shit you have. You don't need probably 95% of the things you have or the things that you have bought. And if you are good at clearing things out, you probably have given away a lot of shit that you bought that you found that you didn't need, or you barely used, or you barely touched, or you don't really need a new phone when your phone is fine, but the new one has come out and you want it just because of that. You don't really need a 10th pair of tennis shoes. You don't really need these things, but you feel that you want them because it's fulfilling a void that is inside of you. And so materialism is a vice. Another thing is the financial system. The idea of money being equal to status is a vice. It is an illusion. It is also a symbol of wealth. It is not actual wealth. There is wealth in food. There is wealth in your house. There is wealth in your family and your friendships. There is wealth in your community and your support. Money is a symbol. Paper means nothing. If we all came together and agreed that paper money doesn't mean what we thought it means, it would no longer have value. It's not even backed by a real currency anymore. So the money is also a system of slavery, because you have the ability to create your needs from the earth. There are cob structures that are 1,000 years old. You can make a home that is durable and lasting and safe and healthy out of natural materials, and people are doing that now. If you start looking up sustainable and natural building, you'll see that thousands, if not millions of people are already shifting their lifestyles. So it's not money dependent. They're not trapped in this cycle. Besides from that, you can grow your own food, or you can have collectives with people. And so the idea that we are dependent upon money is a slavery system, when you can actually meet all of your day-to-day needs without it. It would be a change of lifestyle, but that is also the way our ancestors lived. That is the way we evolved. That is our true essence of nature as humans. Just consider that. I know that's going to be a little bit difficult to digest for some people, especially the further you've been indoctrinated. But for the star seeds, all I'm doing is just touching on truths that are already within you. I'm just helping you wake up to where you are. So that's the first one. Is the first message was you may have to give up your vices to honor your values. And so this is other things too. If your values is having good relationships and you're spending time engaging in self-sabotaging behaviors, but they're temporarily good, you may have to give up those self-sabotaging behaviors to be able to invest and create positive relationships. So what vices are you participating in? And these can look different for everyone. It can even be TV or TV shows, or getting lost in social media, or any of those numbing behaviors are vices that prevent you from sitting into your authentic self, from being who you are. If you have a value of, I'm so evolved and I'm so self-aware and I'm so this, but then you spend half of your day numbing through either social media or through other forms of entertainment, how authentic are you to your value? If you can't even sit with yourself in silence, if you can't sit in stillness, then you're not honoring your value. That's just something you want to do, but you don't actually do. So think about that. So that's the first message. You may have to give up your vices to honor your values. The second message was and is, you cannot add to a full cup. So I know I mentioned this already, but what that means to me is we are so full of all of these conditionings and programmings that have been given to us. For example, the money system we've been conditioned to use that. Our true nature, and it's interesting as I'm forming stronger and better relationships with people. There's so much exchange of goods. They give me food, I give them food. They give me this, I give them that. And there's so much back and forth and so much support and so much care. I had some extra oranges that I bought at the farmer's market, so let me give them to you. Or like, I had some extra whatever, and so here's this. And there's so much of this back and forth exchange, and it's so sweet. And that's our natural nature, is living in small communities that support each other. And being able to give and be generous and authentic. And so the idea of money is, if we are so caught up in certain limitations, if we are so full of these conditionings and programs, there's no space to add in new ideas. So if you are so full of old ideas, let's say, or old beliefs or things that served you in the past, but don't help you create the future you want to create, you have no space. So if you think about a cup that is full, you cannot even add a drop of newness. So for me, what this manifested into was so much releasing, which I'm still in the process of that, because there's always something to release. But it might even be in physical objects, like we talked about in the first message, is that materialism is a vice. Being so focused in using stuff to fill a void or to create a sense of status and wealth and worthiness really reveals that you have a lack of that within you if you feel you need to create it in the external world. So I'm not talking about material security. I'm talking about material excess. I'm talking about materialism. There's nothing wrong with having nice quality things. There's nothing wrong with having quality objects or material quality activities or hobbies that you enjoy that serve a purpose. I'm talking about excess. I'm talking about materialism. I'm talking about getting the new thing because you get a buzz when you shop or when you buy something new, and then it goes away and it gets put off in a corner. So that's a different thing. So you cannot add to a full cup. And this includes, let's say you want to, once again, speaking on abundance, let's say you don't feel you have an abundant lifestyle and that's something you want to create. If you are so full of feelings of scarcity, there's no space to add in the energy of abundance. If you want a healthy relationship with your partner, or you want to improve the relationship with your partner, but you're so full of resentment and anger of things from the past, you have no space to add in those loving emotions. You have no space. You don't have the fertile soil to plant the seeds to create a healthy relationship. So we have to be willing to let go of the things that no longer serve us and where we want to go moving forward. So you can't add to a full cup. So those two messages were very strong over the last couple months. They served me well. I offer them to you in the same manner. The third message, and I got this so strongly over the weekend, I had to stop what I was doing to write it down, is don't forget the mission. Don't forget the mission. And this is specifically to the starseeds. If you're watching this, you probably are a starseed, even if you don't consciously know. If you feel that you're here to add love and light to the world, if you feel that the way the systems have existed doesn't really serve you or doesn't make sense to you, if you feel like you're kind of never really fit in, or you couldn't like bullshit or pretend, if you feel that you're just here to offer goodness and love into the world, you are a starseed. So this is really for you, is don't forget the mission. Because we came here to incarnate, to build new earth and to help humanity through this transition. We didn't come here to get stuck in the matrix or to forget that this is all a play. So what I'm referring to is we have to remember that as a multi-dimensional perspective, we are souls, or we are beings that incarnated into these physical bodies. And so we will go back to either the place between lives, or we'll go back to our past, to our current life, to our last place, let's say. And so we cannot forget that this is all a grand play, that you incarnated to learn lessons, you incarnated to help the people around you evolve. The people that are, let's say, villains in your life are actually actors. And before you came down, you agreed that they would be the villain in your life to help you learn certain lessons and evolve in certain ways. And you the same, as in you incarnated as the villain for certain people's lives to help them evolve and learn certain lessons. And so let's not forget the mission here. Let's not forget the mission, which is to help Mother Earth in her ascension, because the Earth is a sentient organic being. She is going through her own evolution process, and humanity has been trapped under these conditioning by the inorganic or the dark forces, basically an imbalance of darkness, because what we need to understand is under normal circumstances, there is a balance of dark to light always. There is always that we cannot understand full light without darkness, that we cannot understand happiness without sadness, that we cannot understand life without death, and that these things do not exist without the other. So happiness does not exist without its counterpart of sadness, and life does not exist without its counterpart of death. I saw an Alan Watts talk where he said we have to understand that these things imply the other. So life implies death, that black implies white, that happiness implies sadness. And so we cannot forget that we came down here with the mission. And so the reason that so many starseeds, so many light beings incarnated was because there has been an imbalance of darkness, and it has been an inorganic structure of darkness. And so as this inorganic and this false light agenda as well, because some of it is parading as lightness. I mean, especially a lot of movements that preach helping the victim or an over-tolerance, and then they turn to become the culture police, or to basically perpetuate the victim identity. So those that have been victims and have experienced things that created victim wounds within them, that they can never evolve out of that place, those things are false light. So they tap into that part within you that wants growth, that wants healing, that knows there's more, and then they just keep you in the same cycle. So humanity has been stuck in this, like, let's say this karmic wheel where they haven't been able to evolve past a certain level of consciousness. And all of the starseeds, all of these light beings, all of us that came down to help with this ascension, to bring love and light and to anchor those frequencies into the collective, that is our mission. We're here to basically like push over that hump that humanity's been trying to transcend for a long time, and to basically rectify the abuse by these inorganic dark structures. So you can add to a full cup is actually important, because these conditionings are what prevent you from being able to expand your consciousness, from being able to hold the belief or the understanding that there are other ways to live. This is why it's so important to understand other cultures, to travel, to even do research, to watch documentaries, to watch movies and shows and whatever of people living in other ways, so you can begin to understand that there are other ways to live. So we need to create space for new ideas so we can expand our understanding of the world. And don't forget the mission, because there will be periods, and there will be days for individuals, but there will be periods where you will have doubts, where you will be uncertain, where you are not sure if what you're doing matters and if it's important and if it's worthwhile. And so I want to offer this this experiment that I just saw in a documentary, CE5, The Close Encounters of the Fifth Kind, talking about how we only need 1%. So in terms of the expansion of consciousness, which is underway right now, which is, you can also call the Great Awakening, you can call it the Mother Earth Ascension, whatever you want to call it, but it is the expansion of consciousness that we are in this moment. We only need 1% of the population. And so they did this experiment with helium molecules. So 99% of these helium molecules, or 100% of these helium molecules in this jar, were chaotic and incoherent. And so what these researchers did is they added 1% of coherent and in alignment helium molecules to the jar. And almost instantly, all of the molecules rose up to meet that 1%, and they all came into alignment. And so this is true as a collective consciousness as well. We only need 1% of the population to be in mind-heart coherence for the other 99 to catch up. And so 1% is not crazy. And so if you have those doubts, those days of, oh, is it worth it? It's so worth it. Your mission is so important, and we are so close to this tipping point. We are so close. There's already more starseeds in bodies on this planet. There's more people here with that mission than the 1%, like significantly more, but they have forgotten the mission. They have forgotten their work, as is the case with all of us. When we incarnate into a body, we forget what we knew before. And so don't forget your mission. Don't forget your mission, that it's here to spread love and light. And even if you're not doing that, let's say in a physical way, or you don't know how it manifests in a physical form, or you don't know how to make money doing that, or whatever it is, don't forget your mission. Don't stop doing it. And so the perfect example is if you're walk into a room with 99 other people and you're in heart and mind coherence, if you're in alignment, if you are in this expanded consciousness state, if you are in balance with yourself, basically, if you are a unified being, you can affect those 99 people in the room just by being yourself, just by walking in the room. And so what you do matters. The way you show up in the world matters. It matters to the people around you, it matters to yourself, and it matters to the collective. Your energy matters. So this prolific idea that you're just a drop in the bucket is so it's funny because it's said with like such a negative connotation, especially when I was really in environmental work, is like that was what we got a lot was, and this is why it was so disheartening. It's like, oh, I'm just a drop in a bucket, I can't make a difference. But you can't. That drop in the bucket can make a difference. It can affect the other 99%. And so it doesn't matter if you're a drop in the bucket. If you are a coherent drop in that bucket, you can bring the other 99% of that bucket into coherence. So don't forget your mission. So you may have to give up your vices to honor your values. You can't add to a full cup. And don't forget your mission. We will be presented in the near future with choice points of how we want to see the world. this ascension is coming regardless. There is a time period for these inorganic structures when they could have dominion, let's say, or control over the material world, and that time is ending. They are literally fighting for their lives. There is not a single doubt in my body about the light winning or the ascension coming through or the expansion of consciousness. I know in every fiber of me that this is happening, and it does reach critical mass, let's say, and it does expand into a global community. The variable, what is up for like our choice point, or the way we get there, is up for our decision. And so if we want to do this sooner, we can do that, and if we want to do it later, we can do that. And so when I asked my guidance, when everything first happened in March 2020, how long does this go on? And they told me 5 years or 50. So this does happen, but if you choose not to take responsibility for your life, if you choose to continue to consent to the dark plan by staying ignorant, by not taking responsibility for your life and your research and your knowledge and your choices and the quality of your life and the way you want to live, if you choose to continue to stay in the dark for a little bit longer, like, this is going to take longer. Your outer world is a reflection of your inner world. And if you choose not to clean up your inner world, if you choose not to come into coherence, if you choose not to look at the parts that you've rejected within yourself and find a way to heal them and gently or slowly bring them back into your entire being, then this will take a lot longer than you think. So we're on our way there. The ascension is happening. We are I don't know if we're midway, but we are definitely through it. And you have the opportunity to assist. You being yourself and unifying within yourself. You will see more goodness in the world. You will see more evidence of the world when you make a point of creating this within yourself. And so you will not see the expanded consciousness in the outer world until you create that within. And so I see it a lot. I see a lot of evidence of people waking up. Like, I'm almost overwhelmed knowing that I'm so not alone, that there's so many of us. Like, it's so exciting. It's so exciting. And so, but I've cultivated that within myself, and I'm here and I'm showing up and doing these things that like sharing this information because I believe in you, and I know that there's more people that need help getting to this point. And so that's what we're here to do as the Starseeds. We're here to wake each other up, and we're here to remind each other, don't forget the mission. And so the mission is the most important thing maybe that we've ever done. And so we're so close. Don't lose yourself in what the darkness will try to push, because there is also an undercurrent being pulsed into the collective consciousness that is based in fear. And so if you feel you have these intrusive fear-based thoughts, they may not be yours. And so this is so important for you to learn the proper techniques to protect your energy. If the masses don't understand that everything is energy and that our consciousness is so interconnected, the dark definitely does. 100%. They understand all of these magics, so to speak. So even if the average person doesn't understand, the dark is using these tactics. Like, they know. If you just look into the experiments that certain governments have done, you'll understand how deep their knowledge is, even if like the average person doesn't understand, but the ones orchestrating it definitely know what they're doing. So be aware that your consciousness, that this is we are in a spiritual war, so to speak. We are in a psychological war, and you are under psychological warfare. You are under, your psychology and your spiritual health is under attack, because if we lose our sense of connection to source, to oneness, to each other, to the earth, we are much more pliable. It is actually in our separation that we become like zombies. We become like puppets. It's when we lose our life force. It is by being connected to each other and to the earth and other life that we are able to recognize that we are one. So give up your ideas of what makes you different, because you are unique and special just like everybody else. So give up these labels that make you separate from other people, because you are so much more than just that one dimension of your life. And remember that other people are more than just that one dimension through which you are seeing them. And there's so many other things, but I want to keep this video short. So those are my 3 messages. I hope they help you through this time. Once again, I'm here. I also have a very accessible service now. I'm offering remote energy healing sessions. So if you understand that energy is everything, do your own research, do a little quantum physics research, understand that everything is energy. We are a collective consciousness. And so I'm offering these remote energy healings that are accessible to everybody to really kickstart their work. And I will give you back the details of your energy and any recommendations that come through for your next step. So I look forward to offering those to you and seeing you in my Carousel Divine Online memberships. And enjoy, be well, my friends, and I will be with you so soon.